we are here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making a tier list for the metal ranks. So metal ranks being plat and below. I'm making a tier list for what are heroes, what is the like strength of heroes in the metal ranks. Let's start with tanks. Let's do tanks first. So we'll go through Diva. No, I think so. This is like I'm gonna put category Plat Stomper. How are we define these tiers? So we got S tier is Plat Stomper. A tier is let's say gets extra value. So gets extra value. So this by this I mean they get more value in Plat than they would in any other, like on the higher ranks, or you know, in the metal ranks they'll get more value in the higher ranks. B list will say skillful value, meaning basically the better you are at this hero, the more value you will get. It doesn't necessarily get disproportionate value, doesn't get lower value, doesn't get higher, it doesn't get lower. C will probably put like slightly undervalued. Is basically this character probably gets less value in Plat than they would in like Master GM. And then this will just put like don't be an idiot. Okay, so let's start with tanks. I think Diva is probably slightly undervalued, if not in the bottom list, because I think that Diva, not only do I think most players in the metal ranks play Diva wrong, I think that it's difficult right now that people to actually get Diva into comps. There's always a rotation of like what people are happy to play. You could always almost consider like Overwatch meta to have a Overton window of like what is considered acceptable at any point in time. So I think right now, if you pick Diva, people wouldn't know what to do with you. Like if Diva was in your team, people wouldn't know what to do with you. So I think Diva's gonna go as slight undervalue for now. Like where maybe in a better rank people would know, but in Plat and below people don't. Orisa, I think. Oh, skillful value actually doesn't fit Orisa. I'm gonna change this to neutral value. And then I'm going to put, yeah, gets extra value. So I think Orisa is neutral in that she's easy to play, easy to do, and it's kind of fulfills the basic Plat requirement of giving you a shield to stand behind. Like players in the metal ranks, in Plat and below, need shields. Most of the time, they need something to stand behind, and Orisa provides that. Will people follow up on your good hauls? Probably not. But maybe a well-timed supercharger will still get value. So I think for now I'm going to put it in neutral value. We'll see if we may reassess some of these categories as we go. Reinhardt, I think we'll probably put him in gets extra value. Or like, again, we might need to rephrase these. I'm going to put this as like metal rank favorite. He could be, there's an argument. I'm not going to put him in Plant Stomper yet because he's not like, it's not like you pick Reinhardt and you win. It's not the case at all. I don't think any tank probably will go here. Maybe Roadhog. But like picking Rein is strong because people in metal and like in Plat and below don't know. They know very well how to play like around a Rein. They're always like, yay, big giant rectangle. Even if 9 out of 10 times they fly off somewhere else and ignore you. So they know how to play with a Rein and in and around a Rein comp. But at the same time, they won't follow up a lot. So you don't necessarily get, like, you're not Plat Stomper because people will still do dumb shit and won't help you when you're Reinhardt. So I think for now, we'll put him in metal rank favorite because he, like, everybody likes it when there's a Reinhardt on your team, apart from sometimes when they start flaming you. I think Hog could be put in the Plat Stomper. Like, Hog is one hero who gets way more value in gold in Plat. As long as you, like, perfunctorily land hooks, as long as you like decently land hooks, this guy is free SR. Like this guy's literally free. If you can land hooks, this is free SR. Because people, as I was explaining to Super earlier, people are out of position more. Therefore, the easiness of getting hook value is higher. Like people are flying around everywhere, desperate to be hooked. So it's just easy. It's just easy to get hooks, and therefore this hero looks broken. I mean, he gets great value in GM right now as well, so there's that. But I think in Plat, it's just like really easy. And the countering to Hog is much harder in Plat as well, because people don't listen. They don't peel back when the Hog is in the back line. And like Anna's, who's such a hard counter to Hog, will struggle to actually land their cooldowns and save their cooldowns properly for him. And yes, Plat Hogs may not land that many hooks, but like I said, the ease of which there is to land them makes this guy super strong, makes this guy ridiculously strong. Sigma, see, now he would fit under the skillful value, but we've kind of deleted the skillful value. I might put him in neutral value for now. I don't know if he's a metal rank favorite. Is that in that he doesn't... Nobody really knows how to properly play around Sigma, but you can definitely hard carry with the hero, so I don't know exactly where to fit him right now. I might again need to rename these categories. I mean, he's just a hero that's very strong right now, but in the metal ranks, does he get any higher or lower value? Probably not, right? Winston is actually... I know this is going to sound weird, but I actually think he might even fit in Plat Stomper. Like, the value you can get out of Winston is so crazy. Because you can, like, farm backline so easily with Winston, I think he actually might deserve Plat Stomper. There's an argument to be made to drop him into metal rank favorite, but I think he's just so strong, disproportionately strong. Whereas there is a problem with him later on where he literally gets hard countered so easily, where it's like you pick shotgun heroes and he just gets screwed. Like a Reaper who's marking for the Winston, or a good Roadhog will just shit on this Winston. But the ease of which you can farm backlines with Winston is disproportionately higher in the metal ranks than it is anywhere else. Okay, Wrecking Ball. Now, honestly, like, I really might need to rename these categories, because he could go in any three of these. He could go in metal rank favorite, but I don't think he fits that title. He could go in A tier basically because he's strong. He could also, there's an argument also to be made for neutral value in that people don't necessarily understand the Wrecking Ball. But I think that he would go under skillful value. I think I might need to call this skillful value again. Even though Orisa sounds odd to put in that category, I think that if you're a good Wrecking Ball, if you're a good Sigma, you will wreck. But I don't see balls farming the way the Winstons can farm, because the thing is, to get value out of Wrecking Ball, you need to execute him properly. Like, you need to have mechanical ability in the way that you don't need to have to play Winston. I say this as a Winston player, no shade, but like, all you really need to do is jump right and hold left click on some people in the back line and you will stomp. Whereas to get assassinations as Wrecking Ball, you actually need to have like really good competence with the hero. So I think that Ball actually probably goes in the skillful value category. Whereas if you're dumb, you'll just roll out. Like, the bronze Wrecking Ball will just spin to win on point all day long. And that's it. Even though this hero is super, super strong, I think he's one of the strongest tanks in the game and probably needs a nerf. I'm still going to put him here because this is the metal rank tier list. And that brings us to Zarya. I think this will go in metal rank favorite, in that this gets value because everybody knows how to play Ryan Zarya, at least the basics of it. They don't. The irony is they don't know when to not play Ryan Zarya. They don't know when high ground is going to screw them, and when like a kite comp will just shit on a Ryan Zarya. They don't know when that has happened, but generally, they love playing the Ryan Zarya. So it gets extra value for that reason. Like, the understanding of the comp is higher, so there's extra value there. Plus a high charge Zarya wrecks. I think that this fits this category well. So I think for now I'm decently happy with the tanks. It's going to get more messy once we start adding in DPS. So let's go DPS now. Ashe. She's not a metal rank favorite. And she's not necessarily a Plat Stomp, right? I might put her in skillful value. The better you are, obviously, the more value. That's kind of true of most of the hit scan. Like, you will just get value if you're a good hit scan. And if you're not... And that can be both mechanically and game sense. Like, if you're a dumb hit scan and you never take good angles, you'll struggle. And if you can't hit your shots, you will obviously struggle. Ashe will go in skillful value. And I think Widowmaker could probably go here as well. Because although there's an argument to be made that people will give you more angles as a Widowmaker in Plat. However, I think that if you're a good enough Widowmaker that you're hitting that many shots, you probably won't stick around. And yeah, you probably won't stick around. Because I have seen a lot of really good mechanical players in Plat on Widowmaker because they don't understand like other stuff. So that proves that it's not necessarily a Plat stomper. Like you're not necessarily just gonna pick Widow and win. Ironically, you can do that sometimes in GM where if like you don't get contested, you just win. Okay, so Bastion. I'm tempted to put them in the Plat Stomper. Even though he's not Plat Stomper, he is a Bronze Stomper. This guy is a Bronze Stomper. I'm just gonna put Skill Check Hero. Skill Check. In Plat, no, Bastion is not a Plat Stomper, but Gold Stomper, Bronze Stomper, Silver Stomper, yes. He stomps because people don't understand how to stop Bastion. So he's a Skill Check Hero. Like, just quite put simply, if you can't deal with Bastion, you insta-lose. And it's the same with Hog and Winston, I think. If you can't deal with a Winston in your backline, you lose. You can't deal with a Hog in your backline, you lose. Doomfist. See, there's a temptation to put him here. There's a temptation to put him here because of the whole... You put him... If the Doomfist in your backline, he's just gonna wreck your face. I think I'm gonna put him here. I think I'm gonna put him here for now. I may reconsider. But, again, I think that... If I go back to the great DPS debate where we had Samito and Seagull, I think it was there that we said like the good counter to Doomfist is brains. It's basically to like think about where the Doomfist is coming from, your positioning, peel for your team. Never happens. Never happens in the metal ranks. Nobody's peeling. Nobody's watching out for where the Doomfist come from. There's the object permanence struggle in bronze and gold where like, if the character isn't on the screen, they forget he exists. So they'll like die to Doomfist and then 5 seconds later they'll be like, huh, Doomfist again? Killed me? What? So I think he can probably, although you may not necessarily see a rampant amount of Doomfist in gold and stuff, I think for now I'm going to put him in the skill check category. Echo, I think probably goes in skillful value. Even though, again, so this is why this is, it's important to remember that this is a Plat, like a metal rank specific tier list. Although she's a really strong hero right now, arguably the strongest DPS in the game right now, she doesn't necessarily get strong value in Plat just by existing the way that these characters do, or in gold. So I think for now I'm going to leave her here. We may at the end look back and reassess. Genji. See, in the pure title of metal rank favorite, he is, because there's so many goddamn Genjis in Plat. At the same time, I wonder if he's also more suited to one of these two categories because he's like slightly undervalued in the sense that... So if let me explain my thoughts for each of these bits. Slightly undervalued. I can speak from my own experience. When I play Genji in the metal rank, or I literally don't, basically. I don't play Genji in the metal ranks because I don't trust Ana's to nano boost me and I don't trust my team that if I try to go in with a blade, that they will help me. And it's very difficult, actually. If you're an equally skillful Genji as a Plat player, like, there's just better heroes to pick, right? Like, he gets shut down quite easily, and he gets poked out quite easily. He's definitely either skillful or slight undervalued. Even though he's a metal rank favorite and he's picked a lot, I think that, for now, I'm going to put him in slightly undervalue. I'm going to put him in slightly undervalue for now. Hanzo... probably skillful value. Like, I don't think he's broken. The tree trunks be the tree trunks, but I don't think he's like extra value. I don't think he's undervalue. Maybe change metal rank favorite to strong value, or I think I'll put like inherent value if that makes sense. So what I mean by inherent value is they get value because everybody knows these heroes. Everybody just knows the heroes, so they get value for being that. Junkrat, easy skill check hero. Completely just farms by spamming a choke and people running into it. Again, this hero will get more value in gold than he will anywhere above because you just spam a choke and people will walk in. As simple as that. McCree, now while he's a skillful hero, I'm going to put him in inherent value because I think that this is my bias, but you know how much I hate the right clicks. And I think it's just rampant in the metal ranks. So I think just like flashbang right-clicking your way through victory is very prevalent in the metal ranks. And he has that element of it. He has that element of it in games. Like, you just flashbang right-click, it's pretty easy. In Master GM, you'd pick Ashe all day long over McCree, or most of the time over McCree. So I think he gets a slightly inflated value because of that ability to just flashbang people for free. Okay, May. She could go in quite a few categories. She could go in skillful value. She could also go in skill check. I might put her in skill check for now because the number of Plat Reinhardts who whine and whine to me about how do I counter a May is beyond counting. So I think she may be like worth putting in skill check because like the number, again, she suffers from the same issue as like she has the same thing that Doomfist has of object permanence problems where if there's a Doomfist, he goes and kills someone in the backline and 5 seconds later people forget. A May walls off your Ryan, he dies. 10 seconds later when he respawns, it'll happen again. Literally 10 seconds later it'll happen again. So the fact that people like forget to play around the May, I think indicates her as a skill check hero. So I'm gonna put her there for now. Pharah, this has to be a skill check hero, especially when you combine her with Mercy. Like a Pharah in gold in Plat and a Pocket Mercy, GG. Like it's just GG. I can tell you the number of games I've seen, I've played in, I've watched, I've WOD reviewed. Pharah Mercy gets picked. Nobody can deal with her as a hit scan, GG. This is true of console as well. Like, if you don't have a hit scan capable of dealing with her, or a team that doesn't eat her spam all day long, it's over. 100% Reaper. Reaper deserves a category of his own. Like, Reaper and Roadhog deserve a category of their own as, like, complete skill check heroes. Like, you know, you've seen me play DPS. Easy value. Easy value in gold, in Plat. Brain check? Yeah, brain check hero. Like, you just TP, you delete their backline, you delete their tanks. There's literally nobody who can counter you. You just walk around, you wraith form anytime you're in trouble. Easy value. Easy value. Soldier. Probably skillful value. In that I don't think he necessarily has inherent value that McCree does. Although there's the element of like he does everything. So you can heal, you can run around, you can tack visor. So there's like a lot of elements that make him a little bit more easy. But at the same time, I'm not sure. I think maybe we'll leave him in inherent value for now. Because he can like, yeah, he can heal himself. And that's very important in the metal ranks actually. Like being self-sustainable is actually a big buff in the metal ranks over higher ranks. Sombra, she definitely has to be in the bottom two, one of the bottom two tiers. I actually think I might even put her in Don't Be an Idiot for now. I might put her in Don't Be an Idiot because it's like, why put the time and effort to play Sombra when you could pick like, and try to call out your hacks and try to get the right targets, EMP at the right time, when you could just pick a hero that actually that does stuff on its own. Like, Sombra requires your teammates to actually do stuff after you do your big value play. Nobody's doing that in bronze. Nobody's going up on your hack in bronze, if they're even in the voice chat to hear you call it. Symmetra. Inherent value, I think. To be honest, if we think Symmetra in bronze and silver is a skill check. Symmetra in bronze and silver is a complete skill check because I've watched bronze gameplay. Literally the turrets will kill people. The turrets will farm. The turrets will be MVP. But when we get to gold and plat, we're dropping a little bit. We're dropping down a little bit. So I think that there's an argument to be made for either here. I'm going to put her in skill check, bearing in mind that we are talking about the metal ranks overall. And I think that if you're in bronze and in silver and even gold, like literally put turrets behind them and they will farm all day. Like, nobody will kill the turrets. TP behind them, nobody will see you. By the time we get to gold and plat, higher gold and plat, people have learned to deal with it. But for the lower metal ranks is a complete skill check hero. So I'm going to put her there. So Torb, I think, could potentially go in the same place because of the turret. But is his turret as strong as Symmetra's in bronze? Possibly. But I think that actually the turret for Torb is harder to, or easier to spot and deal with than the Symmetra turrets for people in bronze and gold. So I might put him here. Because not only does his turret like make more noise and shit, there's a giant like thing shooting across the map. So I think there's an argument to be made that he's like slightly less value than Symmetra. Her turrets are slightly stronger basically because they slow as well, remember, and people Just like literally will be like, why am I dying and I'm slow? Where are these turrets? Whereas when the Torb turret is spamming you, it's a little bit more obvious. Tracer would probably go in skillful value. Like if you're a good tracer, you farm. There's definitely not inherent value in picking tracer. And she's definitely not a skill check. Slightly undervalued? No, I don't think so. I don't think you would get like... I don't think if you were a good tracer, you would get less value in the metal ranks. So I think she fits under skillful value. So taking us to Ana, probably skillful value, I think. Although people like Ana, you ain't getting no value from Ana in gold because people will just like fuck up everything. They'll fuck up every cooldown and every hit. So, and I would, like, whenever I play in Plat or whatever, I would never ever trust my Ana to do anything. I would never trust any competence on the part of my Ana. So, if you're a good Ana, you get value. If you're a bad Ana, you don't. That makes me consider putting, with the reframed categories, I might put Orisa under inherent value. For the same reason that shield be good, shield get value. BAP, slightly undervalue, I think. I think slightly undervalue. Even though he's a very strong hero, and the hero himself is very, very powerful, and you could carry with the hero. The problem is that for some of his abilities that would get more value, you need your team to be grouped up. Like, you need, for his AoE heals, you need them to be grouped up. For the lamp, you need them to be grouped up. For the amp, you need them to be grouped up. Ideally, you need them to be grouped up. Of course, you can just amp yourself and kill 3 people, probably, and nobody will say boo to you. But you're going to struggle to farm ult charge the way you would in Master GM Top 500, because your teammates is going to be all across the map, and nobody's going to stick there. So even if you had an Orisa, people probably won't even use the shield, and the Orisa will probably be like completely wasting her shield all the time and dying on, like, it'll be dying on cooldown. So I think for that reason, BAP gets slightly undervalued in the metal ranks. Brig. This is going to be controversial wherever I put her. So let me sum up the arguments. Let's sum up the arguments for what she would do in each of these categories. Is she a skill check hero? No. I don't think it's like you pick... Ironically, she's the opposite. In GM, you pick Brig, and it shuts down so many comps that people literally wouldn't even play her. Like, they wouldn't even play a certain comp against a Brig, right? Like, if you pick Brig at GM, people would be like, okay, I'm not even going to pick Dive because I know that the Brig is not so dumb that she wouldn't just counter me. So, she's actually the opposite. She's not skill checking Plat, she's actually just meta checking GM. Does she get inherent value? The character, yes. The character gets inherent value. But does the character get inherent value in the metal ranks? No. Nobody plays around the fact that you have a Brig. So I don't think that she actually gets inherent value. So I don't think it's fair to put her in that category. Skillful value. Yes, arguably. A good Brig will get value, and bad Brigs will just get farmed. So argument to be made that she's skillful value. Slightly undervalued. What's the argument to be made here? Well, the argument to be made here is that, again, people don't really understand Brig's position in the game, in the metal ranks, like in gold and silver and bronze. Do they really understand what Brig is doing? The problem is as well that, like, if played skillfully, she would still get exactly the same value. But Brig is so disproportionately played dumb and bad in the metal ranks that it feels like she might also fall under slightly undervalue. Don't be an idiot? No, I don't think it'd be like a dumb enterprise to pick Brig. I don't think that's the case at all. It's one of these two. She's got to go in one of these two. It's a close call between these. I think skillful value is probably fair. I don't think she necessarily gets less value in Plat. Actually, does she? Actually, maybe. I'm going to put her here, actually. I think thinking about it, she does get less value in the metal ranks than she would higher up. So that, I think, is a fair categorization. That doesn't mean you shouldn't pick Brig, but the higher you go, the more people will actually understand what this pick is doing for your team, and what the enemy will understand the fear of the pick of a Brig. Lucio. He's definitely not a skill check. Inherent value, yes, possibly. Skillful value, arguably. Slight undervalue. Again, there's an argument to be made for slightly undervalue in that, do people understand how you're going to engage with the speed boosts? Probably not. It's not a don't be an idiot for sure. I think probably skillful value is fair enough for Lucio. And I think as well, you can't say he's undervalued because he's actually undervalued. Like, he will get less value in Mastery and GM where people are playing the meta. Like, when people play the meta, they'll be like, well, why are you picking Lucio? Stop throwing. But in Plat, nobody's doing that because we know that people love defaulting to the Ryan comps. So that automatically bumps Lucio up. And I don't think he necessarily gets inherent value because I don't think people use the speed boost. Like, it would be inherent value if people use the speed boost all the time and they knew how to get value out of the speed boost, but they don't. So if you're able to like correctly do it and guide your team, then I think that skillful value is fair. Mercy. Okay, I'm going to leave Mercy to last because I think that's probably the most discussion to be had. Moira, I think should be under inherent value. I think she deserves under inherent value because just healing is like pretty good. I don't think she's the full-on skill check hero because I don't think she's gonna like absolutely farm in gold, but she can get a lot done, and she gets more done because people just like need fat healing, and they will eat so much damage that the orb and the mass healing of Moira automatically gets more value. And of course, having a character that can survive more easily is more valuable in the metal ranks, where people struggle to position and engage properly. So having an easy escape with your fade gives you value. Zen. Now I know a lot of people will make the argument that Zen should go into don't be an idiot category. And I think that there's an argument to be made there where he gets shit on if a dive con comes in and no one will help you. However, I don't think it's fair to categorize him in either of these two. I think skillful value. I can say this for myself. I think it's one of these two, but I think skillful value because I've picked Zen in Plat and just farmed by clicking heads. And I'm not someone who clicks heads regularly or well. But just doing damage on this hero, I think is enough to carry. At the same time, he's not going to get help, so I can understand the slight undervalue argument as well. Where, again, in GM, he would get more peel. He would get more peel and backup. At the same time, he's one of the two. At the same time, if you're good, you'll farm. I think there's an argument. I think it would be fair to put him in here as well. I wouldn't complain if someone put him in here because of the lack of peel and how dependent he is on peel. I think if this was a diamond tier list, he would definitely go here because once you get to diamond, you get in this limbo state where people know how to deal with the flanking Zen, but at the same time, they don't know how to peel for the Zen. So you will just like, you will get dove and then there'll be no help. People will farm you and you're going to have to switch off. So I think in the metal ranks, if you just go on flanks with Zenyatta, you'll probably farm. Now, probably the most discussion, Mercy. Definitely not a skill check. That's one hero that's one part we can avoid her from. Now, the argument for don't be an idiot would be, as I spoke about earlier on the stream before we started the tier list, this is the hardest hero to solo carry with the game. Hardest hero. You are completely dependent on your teammates to get value unless you're Glocking all the time, which is ill-advised, shall we say. So there's an argument to be made that it's, if you're on a pure climbing, pure meta list, it would be unwise to pick Mercy. However, the character's kit is one that gives a baseline easy value. It gives us a baseline easier value, right? Just holding left click and right click occasionally will get you a baseline value that is far superior to what an Ana will give you, for example, or what a Zenyatta will give you. So there's an argument here to swing right from here to here, where just pick Mercy, hold left click. You don't need to do much, and you can kind of rely on your teammates to do the rest. And if you find a good person to pocket, or you have a duo who you can know will reliably, deal with the pocket, then it's just a free farm. And as I've said in videos before, in terms of the actual physical kit, the healing of a GM Mercy is like the left click beam is doing the same in all ranks. So, the skillful value, would you get significantly more value in the metal ranks if you're a really good Mercy? Significantly, no. Slightly, I'm sure, yes. Significantly, probably not. So there's that. Slightly undervalue, I don't think so. I don't think you'd get more value in GM playing Mercy, even though the DPS would be better, but the enemy team would probably like farm you as well, potentially. Although she's very strong in the meta right now as well. Like she is very strong because Echo's strong and Ashe are strong, and that automatically makes Mercy strong. So she is quite strong in the meta right now, but I think that inherent value is probably the best category for her. But again, that's kind of deceptive as to her strength. The reason I'm in an RN is that it's unrepresentative of her strength in the metal ranks because she's so dependent on her team. This is I'm not sure where she should end up. I'm debating between skillful value, inherent value, and even slightly undervalue. But I think in this order, like in the top down order, I think maybe inherent value is probably fair. The fact that everyone knows how to play with a Mercy is probably inherent value. But again, this is really tough. This is why I saved it for last, because while the hero gets more value by just existing and like clicking left click and right click, the heroes that she's enabling are disproportionately worse. Like the Plat Ashe is disproportionately worse than the GM Ashe, who the same Mercy, like the same output from a Mercy in like the same action from a Mercy in gold to a gold Ashe versus a GM Ashe will get far less value for the gold Mercy. So I might leave her in skillful value. And this is skillful value not just for the hero itself, but who she decides to pocket. Who she decides to pocket and who she decides to heal and enable. Because I think if the Mercy finds a good Pharah, a good Ashe, and she enables them well, she gets value. Her hero kit is easy to get value from. However, if you're solo queuing, if your teammates are dumb, you're not going to get value. And you're going to feel very powerless. So I think I'm going to put Mercy here. I think skillful value. Even though I know people will be like, Mercy skillful hero, what? It really do be like that. Like your teammates really will define how much value you get on top of your own decision making. To clarify this list again, guys, this doesn't mean that if you pick like, okay, these heroes, yeah, you probably pick you're gonna win more than these heroes. Doesn't mean it's an insta win. Doesn't mean you don't need skill to win with these heroes, and doesn't mean that these heroes shouldn't be picked. In fact, if you're skillful, most of these heroes will get value across all the ranks. Right? They will get value across all the ranks, whereas these heroes will cap out. So even though on the face of it, it looks like I'm giving you like a cheat guide to like climb all the way as high as you want, these heroes will cap out much harder than these heroes. Like, and you can pretty much go along them and you can think about it as well, like Hog. Okay, Hog, yes, he can still farm in GM, but he can get completely shut down by a good Ana. Reaper, people aren't as stupid once you get higher, so they don't get farmed as easily by a Reaper. Winston will get farmed. If you just pick shotgun heroes, he will get farmed. Bastion, everybody knows how to deal with him. Doomfist, people know how to deal with him. Junkrat, people will walk into his spam. Mei, while still strong, people will play around the walls better. People can hit scan good in higher ranks. And Symmetra, people aren't dumb and won't just like fall into the turrets. So these characters will cap out much more easily than these characters. Bap and Brig, again, while strong at the highest levels, are misunderstood at Plat and below. So yeah, I think fair enough that they're here. Like your teammates need to be grouped for Bap. Again, with Brig, people need to like understand why the hero is strong, and they probably won't be around to get your healing either. So whereas these heroes have Lucia can move around a lot and self-sustain. Same for Moira, and these guys have a bit more range on their heals. Whereas even Bap's like long range heals suffer because of how hard it can be to predict your grenades. So that is my tier maker for value in the metal ranks, in Plat and below. This is not an indicator of how strong these heroes are as characters. They're an indicator of the disproportionate value or undervalue that you get based on the ranks themselves, based on the knowledge and skill base of players platinum and below. The lower you go, the more I think these become true. Towards Plat, it starts evening out a little bit. It starts messing out. But I think the lower you go, the more true this is. And yes, cut. We have a YouTube video. Nice.